Alright, what's up YouTube? It's me, Scorchfx Gaming, and today I'm going to be doing a Destiny 2 exotic tier list. Now, um I this one has Destiny 1 weapons in it, but I have never played Destiny 1, so I'm just going to be ranking the ones that are in Destiny 2. So, I guess starting off with Ace of Spades, I'm going to put it in S tier. I think it is like really strong right now, and it it's really good right now. It's the range does limit it a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty good. Like I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in S tier, especially for PvP. Like it's just amazing. Aegir's Scepter, S tier. Um, it especially with the catalyst, it feels so good to use, and it's a trace rifle, obviously, but it's a great weapon. The catalyst makes it do so much DPS. It's amazing. Now Anarchy, I'm a little conflicted with this one because I'm a little saddened by the nerf. I want to put it in A tier, but I can't. mm, I I think it's S tier to be honest. S Anarchy is still pretty strong right now, so I'm just gonna keep it in S tier. Arbalest, A tier. I like Arbalest. I think it's a pretty nice weapon. The catalyst makes it a little bit better. It's but it's a linear fusion. I'm not a huge fan of linear fusions, but I do like Arbalest a little bit. But still, it's a linear fusion, and I feel like it runs out of ammo a little bit too fast. So it's A tier, right? Now, Bad Juju. Ooh, this is a tough one to rank. Now I'm gonna say I'm gonna put it in B tier. Now I like this weapon. It's just it doesn't feel that very powerful to me. Now, I know the perk does all that, the stuff, and I can't really remember the perk right now. Oh shit. Um, but whatever. It's still a great weapon. It's a great weapon, but it's just, you know, it's limited. Bastion. Oh my god. This thing has been I'm gonna say A tier. This thing has been running rampant for years. For like what 2 years actually. But still, that's still years. And it's just I use it sometimes. I find myself guilty of using it sometimes, but it's quite annoying sometimes. Black Talon, A tier. I like this weapon. I think it's a great weapon. I love shooting the projectiles with it, like, and I think it's a great weapon. The ammo capacity is pretty good, and the catalyst makes it pretty good too. Borealis, uh, see, I am not a very huge fan of this weapon. Oh, real quick disclaimer: this is all opinion, so don't get mad at me. Um, Borealis discl Bore what am I saying? Borealis is a great weapon. What the fuck am I saying? I'm sorry. Um, Borealis is okay. It's not good. It's not necessarily bad, but it's Borealis, you know. It's the swapping between perks. It's outdated, to be honest. I know some stuff requires match game. Some activities do match game, but Borealis just it doesn't cut it really. You could just use like a different bunch of different weapons now. It's a little outdated. If Bungie updated it, maybe cycle through the champion mods or something. Maybe cycle through maybe just not cycle through anything at all. Maybe just rework it actually. I think that might actually do it better. I might use it a little bit more. I still haven't completed the catalyst for it because I just don't care. But yeah, Borealis. Cerberus. That's definitely an A tier. It's definitely a an acquired taste, if you will. It's it's a great weapon. It has okay range, but it's pretty good for a 360 RPM auto, and but it's a little niche, you know. It's a little gimmicky, if you will. Like it, can swap to the shotgun mode quotation marks, and it's like it becomes little. It just feels weird to use, but it's pretty fun. So that's where I'm putting it. Next up, we have Cloud Strike. That is a beautiful sniper. I love this weapon. It is. I haven't used it as much as I want to because I'm terrible at sniping. But when I do use it, it feels so nice. Especially, I think the most time I have on it is when I use it for DPS on Taniks, which is still godly, by the way. And it just makes everything. It. I love lightning strikes. It's a great weapon. Crimson. That's another A tier for me. Crimson is it's an interesting weapon. I like it. It's a pulse mixed with a hand cannon, and I know it's a mix of like Red Death. It's like a reiteration of Red Death, which I know is on here, but I think it's a great weapon overall, but not terrible. Um, Cold Heart. Ooh, I'm gonna say B tier. Yeah, it still does decent damage, but it's outdated, you know? It's literally just the perk is just it fires an arc beam. I mean, I get it. It was the first trace rifle like ever, but they need to like update it. Then I'll maybe start using it again. It'd probably be up a couple tiers. Next up, we have Cryothesia. I do not like this weapon. It is just it feels so clunky to use, and it's just it like if you miss that one like I know they updated it, but like if you miss that one icicle shot, it it feels bad, you know. I don't like this weapon, but thankfully we also got Vex Mythoclast that season, so that basically, redeemed it a little bit. Darcy. Ooh. Mm, I'm gonna put in C. I'm gonna be generous to it because I feel bad for it. It's I guess it's a good measuring weapon because you measure the distances. People use that for testing, for damage fall off and stuff like that. But other than that, it doesn't really have a use outside of that. I know some people still use it for DPS, but other than that, it just doesn't cut it for me. Moving on, we have Dead Man's Tale right up there, right up to S. Beautiful weapon. I love this thing. It's literally glued to my PvP loadout because of how insane it is. And it's an amazing weapon. I love this weapon. The hip firing mode feels very nice to use. When you get the headshot, it's so satisfying, and it's just an all-around great weapon. I know it's a lot better on PC than console, but it's still a great weapon. Next up, we got Deathbringer. S tier with the Catalyst. The Catalyst makes it so much better. Well, no, yeah, 2 seasons ago. Catalyst came out last season. 2 seasons ago, before the Catalyst, it was probably like down here. But now it's up here in terms of damage. And it looks badass, but that was the only thing that was going for it at that point. But still, great weapon. Devil's Ruin. What now? Last season? Well, no, not last season. No, yeah, last season. I if before the infinite ammo thing, I probably would have put it down here. But since now the infinite ammo's here, it's moved up a tier because it's infinite ammo. You just charge, bzz, charge, bzz, charge, bzz, but of course reloading in between. But still a great weapon. It's just a little limited by range, and it feels like it feels a little slow if you know what I mean. Like it's slow. Now, Divinity. Ooh, great weapon. Not really damage weapon, a utility weapon. It gives everyone else better damage while debuffing the boss. So that is why it is S tier. I to get it though, I despise Garden of Salvation. Don't like that raid. I hate the puzzles even more. When I'm on my first try of getting this weapon, took me 7 hours with my team. 7 hours. And we still didn't beat the boss. But then the next day, hour I got another team together, hour and a half, we got it done. Thank the Lord, I got it on my second try. But that first try, that broke me. I was ready to do something, you know. Next up, we got Duality. I think this is definitely an A tier weapon. I like the pellet. I like the utility behind it. You aim in for slug, hip fire for pellet. Great weapon. Just it's. I know the catalyst gives it a shit ton of range, but it's a shotgun. It's a little limited, if you know what I mean. Ariana's, I like A tier. I like Ariana's. It's okay in my opinion. Like, no, I think it's good. I'm just not a fan of it. There we go. It's good. It does anti-barrier, but I don't like the thought of a special hand cannon. I know we just got a special sidearm this season, but I don't really like Forerunner either. So I don't really like the weapon weapons that have like inverted ammo stuff, unless they were originally like that. But Ariana's is still good. It basically destroys like higher tier enemies. It destroys in Crucible, especially paired up with a primary hand cannon, and it slays. So yeah, there's that. Eyes of Tomorrow. I really like this weapon. I was so excited when I got it to drop. I didn't take it off for like a month, but I don't like the damage reduction. That's what holds it back for me. But I love the weapon. I love the design of it. I love the lore behind it. I love the raid that you have to do to get it. I love everything about it except for that one small detail. And I wish Bungie, please, please, if you're watching this video, please, please up the damage. Sincerely, a disappointed Eyes of Tomorrow user. Thank you. Fighting Lion. Yeah. Now, I like breech loaded grenade launchers, but I do not like. I don't. I'm not a fan of Fighting Lion, but it is. Credit is where credit's due. I think it's good, but I just don't like it. My friend loves it. It's his favorite weapon, but me, nah, not really a fan of it. But of course, the perk is basically what breach loads do now. So if they updated it like Cold Heart, they could just update it and it'd be great. Next, we got Forerunner. Meh. Now I know the damage that this thing can output in PvP, the range it has, but I do not like that it is special ammo. If it was primary ammo, this thing would have been it right up here. No, no, right up here. But now it's just no. It's no. It's it's held back by that, of course. Moving on, Gallarhorn, up right up there. It is an awesome heavy. I have been using this thing for like ever since the 30th anniversary came out and I got it. And I did the quest for it. It is so good, especially if you have a friend using Divinity. It's amazing. Then you get the catalyst and it becomes twice as good because you have two rockets in the magazine by default. No like overflow perk like my Heezen does. It's amazing. I love Gallarhorn. Thank you, Bungie, for bringing this to Destiny 2 so a Destiny 2 player like myself who's never played Destiny 1 could experience the joy that other players have experienced in the past, like veterans. Moving on, we have Graviton Lance. Now, I am not particularly a fan of this weapon. I use it sometimes, but not very much. I haven't completed the catalyst for it because I don't use it that much, and I don't really want to go to all the trouble of completing the catalyst for a weapon that I don't really use that much. And it's a great weapon. It feels super weird to use. I know it's a pulse, but it's only like a two shot. It's like ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. It's a little strange. I know the little orbs take out mobs like they're nothing, but it's a weird weapon, if you will. Next we have Hard Light. Hard Light is it's a 600 RPM, so it's still pretty good, but it got hard nerfed, like especially the ricochet rounds that literally like one shot you. They're they got nerfed, so obviously Hard Light is back down there. If it was pre-nerf, it'd probably be up here, maybe here, but for now it's right here. I like it. it's okay, but like Borealis, the cycling between uh the things is a little old. I know they update the animations for both of them to make it shorter, but it's still, cycling between the elements is just it's meh. Moving on to Hawkmoon. Now, Hawkmoon is a great weapon. It's a 140, of course, but the only problem I have with it is I don't like that how many kills you have to get that one big shot. But other than that, it's pretty solid to use. Skins are great for it are great. I love the Austroraptor skin. I don't have it, but I like it, and it's a great weapon. But that the perk is the only thing that I'm not really a fan of. One more thing, I almost forgot to mention this. I don't like the transformative perk on Hawkmoon or Deadman's. I'm not a huge fan of that, where you have to randomly roll your exotics. I see where they're coming from. I think it was a great idea in concept, but I kind of think it was poorly executed. But I like the idea, but the way they did it is just no, no. Like they couldn't have given it like one extra perk maybe. Like it has like its exotic perk, then it has another perk. Like it's two exotic perks, and then so it has like Hawkmoon has its perk, and then it has another perk that only it has. Then it has another perk that you can randomly roll, like Killing Wind or whatever. But you know, whatever. It's the it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Heir Apparent, Catalyst. I love just going into a PvP match, getting heavy with this thing, getting a shield, becoming virtually unstoppable, and just mowing everyone down like I'm literally a juggernaut. It is, especially as a Titan too, it is one of the most fun things I've ever experienced in this game. I know the shield got nerfed. I'm a little sad about that, but it still remains to be a great weapon, and I love it. Next is Anagi's. Oh, how the gods have fallen. I know of the nerf that happened in the past for this poor beauty. It still remains a great weapon, great champion killer, but right now it's good. It's just it could be better. Toaster oven or Yotun, as people like to call it. I like it. I love it. It's a great weapon, but it's a little gimmicky, if you will. You gotta charge it up, and it goes and it flies all the fucking way around the map and chases down a player from 90 miles away, and then you get hate mail for it. You get hate messages, and I've gotten my fair share of hate messages for using it. Next, we have Le Monarque. I think it's a great bow. I like the skin that just came out for it. Sometimes I use it with the paired up with a hand cannon, like I see people doing, but it's a bow, and I'm not particularly a huge fan of bows, but Le Monarque gets an exception. Can't speak today. Legend of Acreus, A tier. People sleep on this thing. A lot of people sleep on this thing so much. They do not know how goated it is. Yeah, it's a heavy shotgun, and shotguns are supposed to be in the special slot, but this came out when the game came out, so back in 2017. So it hasn't been updated. Kind of like Whisper and Darcy and Tractor Cannon as well, yeah. But other than that, it's really good. Of course, it's a shotgun and it's a heavy, so it's limited by ammo and range. Of course, it has max range, but it's still amazing. Like you pulling up on like a whole platoon of Cabal, they're all gone with one shot of this thing, and I love it. It's great for DPS, and it, it looks cool too. You really feel like you're lugging that heavy thing around, and when you shoot, it really feels like you are shooting that heavy thing that you're carrying. So yeah, that is where Legend of Acreus goes. Leviathan's Breath, right there. The Catalyst is I'm not gonna say so bad because if I said that, I'd probably put it down here. But it's okay. I like that they upped the ammo capacity, not economy, capacity for it a little bit. But that's all they did for it. They could have, reduced the drawback time. Feels like you're lugging this heavy thing, but of course that's how it's supposed to feel. But like the Catalyst should have, just made it little bit faster, if you will. Not too much faster that it's broken beyond belief, but just enough. Next, Lord of Wolves. It's okay. I am not a fan of this weapon. I don't find it satisfying to use at all. It just feels weird, doesn't feel powerful to me. But I know a lot of people like it, so I'm just gonna, in fear for my own safety, I'm gonna keep it here. Um, so we all come to a compromise and we're all happy. Now, I like the perk. You switch between two firing modes, basically. But other than that, it's just, it's meh, you know. Lawrence Driver. Beginning of the season would have been right up here. Now since they kind of disabled the perk in PvP, basically, it's better, but well, no, not better. It's a little bit worse, but it's still pretty good. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of linear fusion rifles, but this one does hold a place. Lumina. Ah, I really like this weapon. I love the thought of being a healer, but it's the only healer weapon like that you can heal your teammates with. So I'm hoping that Bungie will take this idea and make more weapons out of it. But for what we got right now, this is a great weapon, and it's a great hand cannon. It feels very smooth to use. It's clean, it's crisp, and it's just a great weapon. Malfeasance. I'm gonna put that in A tier as well. Malfeasance is just I like it. It has essentially infinite range, so that's what's going for it. The explosion stuff that they did for it is too good. Like the explosion was increased by 50%. It's overpowered, so it's still a great weapon. I know it does extra damage against Taken and Gambit invaders, so I've used this in my fair share of corrupted Nightfalls, which is and it works perfectly there. It it's insane. But the only thing that holds it back for me from being S tier is the quest. I do not like that quest. I cried like multiple times doing that quest, especially the part where you had to collect all those motes, and if you lost them, then you lost that progress. I was so devastated during that, but eventually got through it and went right there. Merciless. Bungie, please update this weapon. It is so outdated, and I do not like it. It is. I'm not a huge fan of fusions in general. My favorite fusion is Null Composure, but that's an exception. Merciless is just, please, Bungie, please update it. I want to like it. I want to like it. Think I finished the catalyst for it, but can't really remember now. But I want to like this thing. Okay, please. If you update it, Bungie, or at least just make it better, I'll put it up a couple tiers. But right now, it's right there. Mida Multi-Tool. I'm gonna put it here. Now, I like the Scout, but it's mediocre. The Catalyst for it sucks because it already has one of the fastest reloads in the game. It doesn't need a faster reload with Outlaw. Like they literally could have just like made it like no distractions. Yeah, I would take that over this. Like, wait, maybe they did do that. I can't remember right now. I'm just got up. I'm tired. Monte Carlo, great weapon. I like you running melee builds with it. You know, with a Titan possibly running shoulder charge, shoot, get ammo, get melee back, just shoulder charging everybody, and it's a great time all around. No Time to Explain is another A tier weapon. Pretty good. I'm gonna say A plus tier, but we don't really have. I could just make another one, but I don't really feel like it. So No Time to Explain is a great weapon. I think it's rather niche. You kind of get your own thing that shoots with you, but you know has great range. So that's all that really matters in this game, eh? 1K, super good now, especially with particle deconstruction. It makes it so much better. I know particle deconstruction can also be applied to Merciless, but I still don't like Merciless. Now, um, 1K is another one of my favorite weapons. Like it's you really feel like you're charging up a beam of destruction, and it just feels so great to use. Outbreak Perfected is another A tier weapon. I've been using this thing a little bit more now because people are telling me how great it is. So before I used it, it would probably be down here, but up here, it's probably really good now. It has great range, has great stats for pulse, and the nanites help a little bit in PvP, not by much, but just enough. So I think it's a great weapon. Um, yeah, that's the next one, right? I think so. Yeah, it is. Polaris Lance. Meh. Not particularly a fan of this weapon. The perk's alright, but and the catalyst doesn't really do much for it either. So, not really that great. Not a fan of it. Better than these two, but still not really a fan. Next, we got Prom Lens, the Prometheus Lens. It's okay. It's a pretty good weapon. It's nothing particularly special, but the little area of effect it makes is pretty good. But other than that, it's just meh. Um, so I'm being generous to it. Let's see what's next. Uh, we got Rat King. Hmm. Now, I think Rat King is an S tier weapon. Invisible after every kill. Um, gets more powerful, gets faster, the more people you're using with, and the catalyst makes it so much better. It's just the king of like ad clear. It is so good. I use this thing so much. It is too good. Now, now we got Risk Runner. Risk Runner is definitely an A tier. Held back only by range. If the range was a little bit better, I would definitely be putting it in S tier. But right now, the only thing that's holding it back is range. The charging up, well, not charging up. The little like super thing you get when you hit get arc damage, and it just makes it so good. But the range is just that's the only thing that holds it back for me. Next, we have Ruinous Effigy. Now, I think this is an S tier weapon. It is one of the probably the most unique weapon ever added to this game, and like you literally turn your enemies into orbs and you slam other people or other enemies with them, and it is just too good and too fun to use. I love using this thing in PvE. It's okay. It's all right in PvP. Nothing to write home about, but the orbs actually do give you a little bit of an advantage, if I will. Salvager oh, not salvo. The fuck is this thing called? Grasp of Salvation. Wait. Salvation's Grip. There we go. Um, worst weapon. It's the worst weapon. I love the idea. Uh, a weapon that shoots like stasis crystals and stuff that you can freeze your enemies. It's a grenade launcher. I love the reload animation, but it sucks. It is so bad. It's okay for some melee build, for some stasis builds, but other than that, I see no utility for it. I just hope Bungie either buffs it or just reworks it. I want this thing to be good. When I first saw the Beyond Light trailer with the exotic weapons, I got hyped. I thought this thing was going to be a beast and break everything. Nope. Did that whole quest. At least the quest was easy, so I didn't grind for something that's crap. Skyburner's Oath. B tier. Used to be F tier. I used to hate this thing, but now that it's starting, that we're starting to get into like longer range, like nightfalls and stuff. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. Like it's like Devil's Lair. That whole room with the tank, not room, that whole like area with the tank. That makes it good, and I like it. But it's nothing special. I know I like the extra damage against Cabal, but you can't really notice it. But other than that, it's pretty good. Sleeper Simulant, S tier weapon. Now that is what you call a great weapon. I love this thing. It is like it's a railgun essentially. The only other thing we've gotten closest to a railgun in this game is Inagi's. But right now, but I personally consider the Sleeper to be a railgun. It is literally just penetrates anything, and it's an awesome weapon. Go get it if you don't have it. Let's see here, what do we got next? Sturm, A tier weapon. This thing became good overnight when 110s got moved, got, well, no, yeah, when 110s became 120s, this thing became good in like a single day. And I still use it a little bit to this day. It's so good, but it's reload animation's a little slow, but other than that, it feels pretty great to use. It's so satisfying when you get a headshot with this thing. It's like a and yeah, Sunshot, one of my all-time favorites. I have probably have more kills on this weapon than any other weapon. It is just a great weapon. It it makes you feel like a god or like a deity or something, just blowing up everything in your path, and it just makes everything like so much easier. But the catalyst spent like half an hour in Shirochi grinding for the catalyst, but other than that, it's an amazing weapon. Go get it. It's a random drop actually, so you might good luck getting it. Suros regime, pretty good weapon, A tier. Um, because that is pretty good. I like that you can switch between the two perks, but I like the spinning up perk better. And I know they just updated the dual receiver perk, but other than that, it's okay. A couple seasons ago, like before Beyond Light, it was up here, but now it's kind of down here since 600 since 600 RPMs got nerfed a little bit, but it's still a great weapon. Sweet business. Essentially another minigun. That's why I like Heir Apparent. But the only thing about this is that it's primary, so it doesn't feel as heavy as Heir Apparent. But I still like Sweet Business, especially when you pair it up with Titan, with a Titan, with Actium War Rig. And now it's infinite ammo, so it's even better now. I would probably would have put it down here, maybe even here, but now it's up here, so it works like that. Taraba. I so badly want this thing to be S tier, but the fact that when you switch weapons and the charge goes away, that's what holds it back for me. But I so want to love this weapon. I really like the raid that you had to do to get it. A little chaotic, and the first encounter was way too long, Crown of Sorrow. But like other than that, I love Galron. It was a great weapon, but it's held back by that perk, you know. Next, we have Telesto the Besto. Oh my god. I have no choice but to put it up here. It's I know it got nerfed a little bit. It's still good. It breaks the game every update, every DLC, every hotfix. Every time it breaks something. Every time. It is the god. At this point, Telesto is not a bug. Destiny 2 is the bug in Telesto. Telesto is not a bug. It's insane at this point. Symmetry. Now, I think this weapon is pretty decent for a scout. Nothing too special. I like that when you get kills, you charge it up basically, and you switch to the all firing mode and fire like the electric charges. But me personally, who's not really that good with scout rifles, is is not really too interested in using it. But I'm giving it where its credit is due, and I think it's a B tier weapon. Excuse me. Now, Shappy, Chaperone. I really have no choice, do I? All the PvP sweats are gonna yell at me if I put it anywhere lower. Sniper shotgun, longest range of any shotgun in the game, and it's overpowered. Like at this point, I like the reload animation, but I know it's not special anymore because of the other not special ammo. It's not unique reload anymore because of the new shotgun that just came out, the Wastelander. But I think it's still a great weapon. I like the little like the horns on it, like the scope kind of represents. Let's see here. Next we have Colony. Ooh, B tier. I love the idea. You shoot little insectoid robot grenades, but it's kind of bad. We're not gonna lie. We all feel it. We all know it. But other than that, I like the idea. But just please, Bungie, just buff it a little bit. Come on. We all want to use Colony. Um, Next we got Fourth Horseman. Probably another one of the most badass looking not shotguns, guns in the game. Literally a quadruple barrel, and I think that is amazing. So, yeah, that is awesome. But like It's held back, of course, by ammo economy. You burn through the ammo really fast, but it is what it is. Huckleberry is definitely S tier. Expert ad clear, basically Rampage but on steroids, especially with the catalyst, and it it's a killing machine. I like the reload animation. You put the mag in, you kind of spin it to get it going, and I think it's a great weapon. Next, Jade Rabbit. Jade Rabbit, I am not particularly a fan of. I know it one taps in momentum control, but other than that, I would never use outside of that. Even I wouldn't really use in momentum control. I'd use something else like Vex Mythoclast or something. But Jade Rabbit is meh. I know it was a beast back in Destiny 1 that people say, but other than that, it's just no. Lament S tier. Yes, I understand the nerf comes into play here, but it's still an S tier weapon. I still use it for Atrax. I still use it for Nightfalls. Has so much utility, not just in taking down barrier champions. I use it to take down all champions. Like I'll be running this, so that means I'm anti-barrier. My friend will be running like Overload. Other friend will be running Unstoppable. They just stun them, and I'll just go ripping into it. So of course, Lament is S tier. It's a chainsaw sword. Like, what can you not? What's cooler than that? What is cooler than a chainsaw sword? Nothing. That's what. Last word. Bit of conflicted with this weapon. It's kind of B tier on PC, but S tier on console. So I'm putting it A to keep it like in the middle. Now, I like the idea of like, you're an old Western cowboy hip firing like a beast, or not beast, like one of those old Western movies. But it's okay. Since I play on PC, it's not as good for me. But I understand where the console players are coming from, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. Next up, we got Prospector. I like trolling people with this, like in a raid. I'll like just throw a bunch of these down, so a bunch of the grenades down, blow it up as soon as I'm placing a rally banner, and the rally banner will appear like in the stratosphere. But other than that, it has no. I don't never used it outside of that. Besides maybe that one time during DPS on Insurrection Prime in Scourge of the Past before it got taken away. But other than that, I think it's okay. I never really used it, but beyond trolling people. But you know it is what it is. Queenbreaker B tier as well. Like I said, not a huge fan of linear fusions, but it's I like the idea of feeling like a fallen vandal or Elixir vandal, whatever. People might say I'm racist for saying that, but the I think it's okay. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's a weapon that exists. That's all I'm gonna say. Wardcliff Coil S tier easily. I love this weapon. You can literally fire a barrage of rockets, and it's just overpowered. Um, Catalyst makes it better, and I like it. I like the skins for it too. We got Thorn. Alright. Oh God. A. This weapon has been running rampant for quite a while. I like it, but it's not limited like like pretty much all other 140s, limited by range. So obviously it's held back for me. Ace gets an exception because I love Ace, but other than that, Thorn is just, it's mediocre. Next we got the Thunderlord. Ah, yes, the Thunderlord. A tier. I love the weapon. I think, like I said with Cloud Strike, I love Lightning Strikes, but the only thing that's holding it back for me is how fast it burns through ammo and the ammo economy, the ammo capacity for it. If it had a little bit more like it for a machine gun, and it fire. I know the whole perk is it fires faster as you're holding down the trigger, but still, like it's just come on, Bungie, just add more ammo to it, so then it won't feel like we're like burning through our ammo instantly as soon as we get to that third like stage of firing. And that wouldn't even really be broken in PvP because you don't even get enough for machine guns anyway. Tiku's Divination. Ah, S tier. Like I said before, not a huge fan of bows, but this gets an exception because it's tracking and I don't have to aim. So I really like Tiku's. The explosions feel satisfying to do when you headshot that one enemy, and I just think it's a great weapon. Um, Next, what do we got? We got Tommy's Matchbook, heavily underrated, like criminally. It is such a good weapon, but it's of course held back by being a 600 RPM, and of course maybe damaging you a little bit. But if you run it with a Devour Warlock, then it just becomes S tier. But for me, a Hunter main, it stays at A. But I think it's a great weapon. Um, it's insane. It's like an old Tommy gun. That's why it's called Tommy's Matchbook. Duh. Um, it's like it has an old drum magazine, has a 100 round magazine, make it one of the highest 600 RPM magazines, and that just makes it great. But of course, the damaging just makes it meh. Tractor cannon. I will have to say, S tier. I'm a little biased towards this weapon. I have been wanting this weapon for so long. I mean, I have it, but like, it was a while before I got it, and before I got like Xur to drop it or for Exotic Engram. And I love the debuff. I love just booping people off the side of maps or just outright killing them entirely from God knows where. And I like it. I think it's a great weapon. It's debuffs everything. It's just awesome. Next we have Traveler's Chosen. Yeah. Now I like the perk. I know the catalyst. Actually, now that I think about it, the catalyst with full auto makes it A tier. I like it. Putting Getting stacks of buffs when you kill enemies makes it like recharge your abilities when you do it, and it gets a little bit better. Gets every stack you consume. But the fact that it's a sidearm makes it just it makes it A tier, if you know what I mean. Next, Trinity Ghoul. Before this catalyst came out, it was C tier. Now it's S tier. One of the best, if not the best, ad clearing exotics. You kill an enemy with it, get the charge, shoot at him without aiming, change between the three arrows, and boom, whole room of thrall or acolytes or whatever is dead, like just gone. And that's what makes it so good. I like that weapon. Vex Mythoclast, we all know where this is going. S tier, a little bit overpowered. No, it got nerfed. Still good. Still overpowered. Bungie, don't nerf it anymore because I want this thing to be good. It's one of my favorites. Thank you for adding it into Destiny 2, so like I said, a non-Destiny 1 player can experience it. So thank you for that, Bungie. What do we got after that? Truth. From what I'm told, Truth is not as good tracking as back in Destiny 1, but I'm gonna put it B. The tracking is still insane, but it's a actually, I'm gonna go A tier with it. Why not? It's a rocket launcher, has two in the mag, but before Galio was the only one that did that, like intrinsically. But the damage kind of holds it back. Of course, Galley does shite tons of damage, but Truth is just it's a good gambit invading weapon like Eyes of Tomorrow, but other than that, it's just it's Truth. It's the truth. Two-tailed fox, I'm gonna say B. I like the two firing rockets, but it's a little, niche, if you will. And it's a rocket, so it's obviously does good DPS. But other than that, it just kind of the two rocket thing kind of holds it back for me, and the low ammo capacity too. So Vigilance Wing. I'm gonna say with the catalyst with full auto S tier, I get destroyed by this thing so often. I think it's starting to become a little bit more rampant. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I certainly have. Maybe it's just because I only play like PvP when I absolutely need to, but still. I think it's a great weapon. I like using it myself. I like the 5 bullet burst. It feels a little long to do. Like it feels a little like, it feels like a long time before you can reload again. The reload's a little slow, but other than that, it's a pretty great weapon. What do we got after that? We got Wave Splitter. Ah, Wave Splitter is here, yeah, with the with two other trace rifles. I think it's a great idea. It's like a kind of like Tesla themed um trace rifle, but other than that, it's kind of held back by by it, of it being a trace rifle. And the damage, I know they nerfed it a while back because it used to be overpowered, but now it's B tier now. Whisper of the Worm. I so badly want to like this weapon. I love it, but I so badly want it to be good. So please, Bungie, make it better. I want this thing to be the DPS powerhouse it was known for back in the day. Like I use this thing on Consecrated Mind and it destroys. Like people were like, "No, don't use Whisper. Use like whatever other DPS weapon there is." And I always get better damage than them. Oh gee, I wonder why. Now please, Bungie, please just make it a little bit better. I want to love this thing. It looks awesome. It has great sounds. The skins are great for it. I have the hive themed one. I have the catalyst finished. I Please finish this. Not finish. Please update this or just make it better. I want it to be good. What do we got next? Wish Ender. Nah. Wall hacks are fine, but it's just bad. It's a bow, so stand down there. Wither Horde. No further argument on Wish Ender. Wither Horde S tier. Expert ad clearing weapon, really good in PvP for bouncing around corners and getting an opponent behind a corner or behind like a box or whatever they're hiding behind nowadays, or behind a Titan shield even. And it's a great weapon. I finished the Catalyst. Catalyst gives it max handling, feels so great to use, so smooth. It's just great. Next we have Worldline Zero. Ah, the only thing that actually yeah, it's down here. It sucks. Back when Warlock skating was a thing, it was probably like up here, but now it really has no purpose. It's down there, and we all grinded for it, and it's just not good right now, you know. And finally, we have Xenophage. Xenophage is currently A tier due to the nerf it received, but other than that, it is pretty good. I just don't like that they nerfed the fire rate, but other than that, it's pretty good. So tell me in the comments what I should do next. Maybe some gameplay clips or just another tier list possibly, maybe for armor. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Tell me what you think in the comments of this.